Hello audience, in this video we're working on the two-door sedan. Now, I haven't mentioned anything on this project for quite some time, reason being, in addition to me being really busy patching up the rest of the cars around here, we've had a few delays with this project that needed to be sorted out. One big problem was the headlights. The owner didn't have a set of headlights for this car, and good original 2029 headlights are pretty difficult to find because they were nickel-plated steel originally, so it's hard to find ones that are not rust-pitted really bad. The original plan was to just buy a set of new ones because they're readily available, and you can even get them in polished stainless steel, so you don't have to worry about them rusting over. The problem is, when it was time to get them, no parts vendors had them in stock. So the owner decided, we'll just wait a while until they restock them. Well, several months went by, and there were still no new ones in stock anywhere. Now, this became a problem because we couldn't finish the electrical system on this car without all the parts. So, after a while, we eventually gave up, and the owner found these. These are a pair of originals that have been restored some time ago. They're still in pretty good shape. Now, they kind of stand out because they're nickel-plated as original and the radiator shell is chrome-plated, but what's important is it's getting the job done. If we ever do find new ones available, we can just swap them out within a few minutes. And besides that, we haven't even tried polishing these up. They'll clean up and look a lot better afterwards. We've also finished the wheels, which also had a few problems. First of all, two of them had to be replaced. One of them was what we consider to be damaged beyond repair, and one was an early 28 that didn't fit the drum properly. I've already made a video on how I restore Model A wheels, and I'll put a link to that somewhere in here, and we did exactly that with these. We painted them ivory to match the pinstripe that it originally had, which is what the owner wanted. This was another delay, as we had trouble getting someone who would sandblast these, and apparently the owner had trouble finding a set of 5 matching tires. But luckily that's all done now. The only thing we need to do next is get the proper lug nuts for it, which we're still waiting on currently. We've also installed all new glass on this car. Now, rather than buying the glass pre-made ready to go, which most parts houses sell that way, since all the original stuff was still here, we decided to just take it all over to a local glass shop, and they used it as patterns and made all new stuff for this. The only difference being, originally, only the windshield was in laminated glass, the rest of it was in plate glass. The new glass is all laminated, which is what the owner wanted. The original regulators were still in pretty good shape, so all we did was degrease those, repack them with grease, and put them back in. We also replaced the glass channel and all the seals, which unfortunately I didn't film, but I will share a few things about it. As for removing the glass on these, if it's a coupe, a two-door sedan, or a closed cab pickup, it's actually pretty easy to do. This section of the door is held on with 3 screws, and as long as the screws aren't rusted in, you just remove this whole section, then roll the window up till it comes off the track and lift it straight out. So this door is pretty much finished. Next thing I'm going to do is install the trim panel and all the rest of the parts on this. Now the trim panel for the door attaches with these spring wire clips that go in these holes. Like so. And the only other thing is this tab here that the panel has to slide over when being installed. It's important because that's really easy to forget. The left quarter section, or whatever you call this, is also ready for the rest of the trim to go on. Now, replacing the quarter windows, unfortunately, is not quite as easy as that on the doors. To remove the glass, you put it in the full up position and then lean it in and kind of shuffle it out of the tracks. The problem with that is, to do all that, this window molding needs to come off, and the screws that hold it down are hidden behind this panel and this one. And they're both nailed down, they don't just snap on and off, so replacing the glass is quite a job on this. Unless, of course, you already have the car completely apart because you're fully restoring it, like we are. Now, this panel and several others are held down with nails, and over the years I've had quite a few people comment asking me, how do you install nails on these and completely hide them? Well, if the interior is leather or vinyl, I've already shown how to do that when we were putting together the four-door sedan. But on these, they used this technique originally. They're nailed down using brads like this, which has a really small head on it. And these are nailed down, and then after it's secured tight, you go around the material with a needle and pry it up around the head. It's not very difficult, but it does require some practice and a little bit of patience. And pretty much all of the panels on here are held on that way. And this is a reproduction floor mat that we just got. It's got the starburst pattern to it like the original would have had. Usually these new floor mats come oversized and you have to trim them to fit your car. This one was already cut to size and it fits pretty good. I didn't really have to modify it at all. Also has the holes for the front seats. The only thing I had to do was punch holes in it for these snaps, or whatever they're called. So the interior from the seats back is pretty much done. The front we're still working on. You may have noticed I had the kick panels installed already, but I took them out because the wiring for the windshield wiper I did all wrong, so I have to redo that. We can't install the front floor just yet. I'm still working on getting the battery, installing the cables, brake rods, a few other things. It's not too bad though. The good news is, while I was making this video, more parts showed up, including the lug nuts. So I have plenty to do on this. So hopefully this project won't take too much longer. But anyway, that's it for now. So thank you for watching, and we'll see you next time.